Okay, I'm trying this BS one more friggin' time. I did it twice already and it friggin' backfired. So guys, this is the continuation of that last video. You know what? When I just posted, like, I don't even know, a little over an hour ago, what the hell it was. By the way, I am oh dear God, it's breaking apart. I'm in the process of eating dinner, so if there's random little pauses, don't be too surprised. Okay. And no, for those who wonder, no, I do not live on a college campus. The reason that that is there is, you know what, never, not even relevant. Okay, why am I getting off topic here? Okay. And, yeah, there we go. But yeah, stereotypes aren't good. Because, like, the other thing where I left off last video, like, I was going to do kind of a Pokemon type thing, like, on certain very underrated ones in 6th Gen that just pissed me off, but that's probably for a different video. This is more kind of because I've had experience with this kind of stuff, and, like, it just gets on my nerves, like, a lot, like, severely. But yeah, hold on, I think my girlfriend just texted me. Aw, no, really, you were wrong. No shit. But really, women. Anyway, because she was. Never mind. We argued about something. Not the point. My personal life side. I look like I'm ready to do that Russian clog dance. Anyway. But yeah. So my buddy, who's 245, about 6'4", so people always ask him. They're like, "Oh, dude, yo, man, how many sports do you do? You must do so many sports." And it's like, he's like, "You couldn't just ask me, you know, you couldn't be like, you know, hey man, you look kind of athletic. So you play any sports? Or did you in high school? Or, you know, could actually ask him a informed question." And he was right to say this, and I stood by him like, dude, absolutely, like, they had no right to just suddenly be like all of you be like, like wild animals, like, calm down. Let the guy breathe. Jesus. Fuck. But yeah. And that was my other butt too. That's like people in a band too. People stereotype that shit's as bad. It's like, oh my god, they must do drugs. They must drink. I've almost like a cult mentality about it. It's like people, are you kidding me? There could be worse things they're doing. Just like with people who stereotype people as gamers or nerds. Not game. That's actually the term. Gamer's the term. Geek or nerd, rather. I'm a nerd, for God's sake. Someone got a problem with that? I didn't think so. I really am, honestly. I love video. Like I said last video, I love Mario games, any kind of Mario games. Though I haven't played. I never played Mario Kart. I never played Dream Team, and I never played. The hell's the other one? Oh, damn it all to hell! What's the other one? Dream Team, Mario Kart, and I never played. I think it's called Bowser's Story. I never played that one either. Oh yeah, like Mario, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Sonic, shit like that. Like Minecraft to some extent. I know nothing about it. No one friggin' asked me about it. I know jack shit. Don't ask me one damn thing. I have no clue. Even Magic the Gathering, I played that once in my life, like when I was a little younger, probably like 13 or 12. I didn't mind that game. It was alright. The mana and all that. I still like, because it reminded me of another game called Duel Masters. For those who saw that on Cartoon Network, the main reason I remember, I'll sort of elaborate, is because the main character's name was Shobu Karafuda, and I love that name to like no end. So Shobu Karafuda. Now, for those who know, I believe Shobu. Yeah, Shobu is to fight or to battle. Judai no Shobusa. Let me think. Because I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force kanji in Japanese. Wait a minute. Yeah, Judai no Shobusa. Yeah, that's fight. Judai wants to battle. Yeah, okay. Because Judai is Jaden Yuki. Never mind. Random Japanese lesson for you people. Oh yeah, and I also like, that reminds me. Not just Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And all the other stuff. That's more like a gamer type thing. But I like anime too. I like certain sci-fi type movies, like certain fantasy movies. Like Lord of the Rings is decent. I've only seen actually 2 of them. I haven't even seen the other one yet. Why, I don't know. Um, I'm a lazy ass. That's probably why. The Hobbit, some degree. I haven't even seen the new one yet. I think it's what's it called? The Desolation of Smog's out. Smog. How the hell do you say? I just think of smoking, so I don't know. People sue me. I don't really care. I really don't know, and I'm sorry, guys. It's just I'm a little bit delirious after re-recording this. Like this is the third time, and I'm getting pissed off. Stupid YouTube, friggin' glitchy piece of junk. Not bad if you have it friggin' everyone forced to do G plus now. Ridiculous, absolutely obscene. Yeah, YouTube, that's right. You hear me? I don't really care. Deal with it. Suck it. I don't care. But yeah. But those stereotypes, like I said, they kind of get to me. My friend was right. Couldn't you more verse in the frame of a question? Just like with geeks or nerds. And again, I'm using that in quotes because that's rude. There are worse things people can do than play video games for like 2, 3, 4 hours. You're playing it 8, 9 hours a day. That's generally bad. You don't want to do that. And generally, all you do is sit there for like 8, 9 hours a day and do that for like more than like 2 or 3. Well, not even more than 2 or 3 days. More than like a day a week. That's not good. I can understand doing that on a weekend, like on a Saturday or Sunday. You got nothing to do, whatever. If all your homework got done somehow, whatever. You got nothing else to do. You want to do that? That's fine. You're into that shit. Go for it. Go bananas. Go ape. Have fun. Whatever the word is. Knock your socks off. I really am showing my age. Knock your socks off. My grandmother used that phrase. My God, help me. But really, and I'm laughing like a baboon. You'll have to excuse me. Like I said, I'm the most introspective human being you'll ever meet. So anyone who watches this and anyone who's taken philosophy knows what introspective means. And even if you haven't, you probably know what the hell it means. It basically means I know myself inside and out. I know my flaws. I admit my flaws. Like I try to. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so stuff like that, and even that's the other thing. My bud in high school, he once told me like, and again, he had I don't really want to say he went to high school. I'm not gonna say that. He basically went to a rival school of mine, and he told me one day because like I'd seen him after a lacrosse game. He's like, hey, I'm like, oh dude, what's up? Yada yada blah. Just BS shooting the shit, whatever. And basically he's like, dude, like he's like, I really need to say something. I'm like, what? Because we had a few minutes where we got back on the bus. People were kind of drinking Gatorade, doing whatever the hell they do, just kind of chilling, whatever, like talking a little bit amongst each other, whatever. So he kind of got me off a little bit. We were off to a little bit away from everybody. And he's like, one day I need to come over and I need to tell you something. I'm like, sure. I'm like, can you tell me now? He's like, no, I really don't want. I don't feel comfortable telling you now. I'm like, all right, whatever. I had no problem with that because most days after school I was fairly open when I didn't have like practice. I didn't care. So I'm like, okay. So basically, again, the long and short of it is, so he comes over another day in the week and he's like, yeah, thanks for hearing me out about this. I'm like, sure. What's going on? What's up? Is there something wrong? Is something happened? He's like, well, I kind of haven't told many people this yet, and he's like, I just. He's just like, I'm so sick of like living a lie. It's like feels like it's eating at me. I'm like, what's eating at you? And he's like, and then he told me he was gay. I'm like, I just kind of sat there. I'm like, I kind of like pat him on the back. I'm like, do I care? No. He's like, wait, you don't think it's weird? You don't think anything? He's like, because I've only told like you, my brother, and he told another friend of his. He's like, you don't think it's weird at all? I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm like, dude, admittedly, I had a feeling. I didn't care. And it wasn't even he was stereotypical, like, the stereotypes people think there are for gay people, like, like a certain word that begins with FL, which is what the major, at least gay guys act like. Gay women, that's different. Gay guys, at least, there's a certain FL word that applies. And it's not Florida, you smart-ass people. Don't friggin' be idiots. Don't be like, herp, it's Florida. No. Anyone with half a brain knows what word it is. It sort of goes with fire. Let's say that. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I don't care. He's like, yeah, 'cause he's like, one person I actually did tell, so I only counted as 3 because one of the other ones I told, well, the only other one I told, he's like, they kind of just said, oh my God, you are, and they just kind of like walked off, which is like, I'm like, that's not a real friend. Because you need someone, in a situation like that, you need someone who's going to like be there for you and accept it. Like, who cares? What someone does in their bedroom is their own damn business. I don't care. Like, or should I say, again, who they do it with. I've said this in a previous video. Who they do it with. I don't, like, guy or girl. And I especially knew, I'm like, dude, you almost had come on to me a few months ago. I'm like, I kind of knew. I just didn't care. It's like, whatever. It's like, you're my friend. I don't care. Big deal. I'm still friends with them. I don't care. Like, it's like someone judges them and I'm nearby, they make fun of them, so help them. Because they're going to be in big trouble. No one makes fun of my friends. I don't like that. At all. But no, I really don't. Um, so yeah, and he's like, wow, and he's like, yeah. He's like, and then plus it was just, these girls kept asking me out. I'm like, dude, you got to be able to be honest with yourself and be able to, sort of live the life you want. Like, live in terms of, like, I guess, I guess the correct term would be social, sexual identity, more or less. I think that's it. You got to be able to do that and live it for you. Not live it, because your parents expect a certain, thing of you and expect grandkids. His brother's straight. His brother can give him grandkids. Who the hell cares? I just sort of shake my head and facepalm. I'm like, what? He's like, no, my mom didn't really care. Because he's like, I told her a few days ago I was waiting to tell my dad. But he walked in as I was telling her. And he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh. Those moments are awkward. Those moments suck. But they happen. I mean, I'm judging hell from the very experience he told me about. So I assume they happen in other places too. That just sucks. I mean, but whatever. Happens. So yeah, and it's like that stereotype. Just like at the band. I mean, he was in the band, and I think that sort of made his parents think, oh my God, he's probably going out with all these girls. That's good. Because I think, everyone always has an underlying suspicion. I think. And that's the other thing about, like I said, stereotyping and, whatever, almost labeling in a way. No one probably is. See, it's a matter of what you like or who you like. It's not a matter of any of that sexuality BS. It's not. People go on about that all they want. You can argue with me about it if you want to. If you really want, just don't be a freaking asshole about it. I don't care. You want to argue with me blue, go ahead. It doesn't faze me. It's a matter of who you like. It's not a matter of, any label. Just like, being a nerd or a geek, quote unquote. No, if you like to play video games, play video games. Don't play 8 hours a day. Your brain will partially rot. But at least your brain cells won't be dead. Your eyes may hurt. You may have a headache. And then when someone's kid whines to them, they have a headache. Oh, I have a headache. Well, why'd you play video games 8 hours? Use some logic. Duh. And at least their brain cells won't be dead, parents. Unlike if they're drinking all the time. That's why I swear kept me away from, like, going to parties and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm totally antisocial. But I honestly would probably rather play a video game than go out to a party every single night. It's just not who I am. Like, it never will be probably who I am because I'm 23. I'm just not that type of person. Like I said, and I like when my class games are not those games that take up so much time, like World of Warcraft. I forget what the other one's called. It might be like, what is it, League? Oh God, what is it called? Oh, I know it because I met another guy who played it. What the fuck was it called? Plus, I think my friend's brother actually played it too. League of Legends. That was it. League of Legends. And there was another one. There's League of something else too. And like World of Warcraft. Those are so time consuming. I'm sorry. I don't care how decent they may even be. I don't even know if I'd call them good. I mean, to me, they're just kind of rip-offs a lot of other RPGs. Not really. I shouldn't say that. That's a little mean. Not rip-offs, but like kind of just, they're too, I don't know. They just sort of have that same usual RPG reek. Like, who cares? Like, I mean, they're alright. I mean, like I've seen some of the characters from, well, at least League of Legends. Not from World of Warcraft, but League of Legends. Some of them seem kind of cool, but it's like, who cares? I personally think I mean, can they bash a giant turtle's head in with a giant spiked shell who takes a princess? Can they do that? No, probably not. I mean, A, they're not in the game, and B, they're not. See, I'm an OG kind of guy. Like, I like, like I said, Mario and Sonic and that kind of shit. That's how I am. That's how I'll always probably be. Like Pokemon, that stuff. Like, I mean, I'm probably one of the few people who watch this who started with Red and Blue. There are very few people I know who started with that. Most people say, oh, I started Gold, Silver, Crystal, or I started back when Diamond and Pearl started, da-da-da-da-da. Now I started with the real original stuff. The only thing I had was green, and after seeing how glitchy it was, I probably wouldn't have wanted it. Even though I can read a lot of Japanese, I probably would never played it. Because I probably would have just ended up bashing my head into a desk. Because really, who the hell wants to read all that and translate all that kanji? I think it was, well, you could choose katakana or kanji. Never mind. But yeah. back to that what I was saying. It's like that stuff, like he said, it can weigh on people. Like if they're not honest with themselves, like about who they are. Again, obviously being, if you're in a band or if you're a quote unquote nerd or geek, that's easier to accept. Or some people even I found if they really think they are a quote unquote nerd or geek, and actually for some reason think it's a bad thing. Why I don't know. They may have trouble like saying no. I play all these sports now. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Like that's quite frankly that's just moronic. That's just stupid. Honestly, it's freaking stupid. And the same thing goes for a band. Screw what people say. If you like being in a band, be in a band. Oh my God, that could be a bad influence on you. Da, da, da. Unless you're listening to Marilyn Manson or they're worshiping Charles Manson, I wouldn't worry about it. Honestly, I would not worry one little damn about it. Unless listening to Black Sabbath all the time, I wouldn't fucking worry about it. I'd worry more if they're sitting there all day and just like listening to it and then the rest of the day just sitting there playing some mindless video game like for like the whole day. Not like just a couple hours, 2, 3, even 4. Who cares? If they have the time, that's not. It's too excessive. It's like because I do wonder. I even sit and watch some. I've watched like probably 2 24-hour video game marathons. Not obviously all the time. That's insane. Maybe like an hour or 2 of it, 2 hours, 3, something like that. Sometimes if I get more time later, and I just wonder to myself, I'm like, how do they sit there for 24 hours and play a video game? Even if it's for charity, how do you do that? Like, for one, I'd have the attention span for it, and for 2, I don't think most people do, and for 3, well, a lot of video games are fun. Oh, and speak of fun video games, now, there's one online called I Want to Be the Guy. If you want to tear your hair out, play that game. It will drive you to either drink heavily, if you're of age, of course. I'm not advocating underage drinking. If you're of age, or it will just drive you to never play another video game as long as you live, because the game will drive you insane. It literally is nearly made to be impossible, I think. But really, that's the truth. It's awful. So yeah. But yeah, there's that. Yeah, like I said, and back to that. Like let's see. That was the other thing. My buddy, the same one who came out to me, is actually in a band, and it's like he doesn't wear ripped jeans or ripped shirts or wear all these like skull shirts or worship freaking Charles Manson. Where the frick the extreme ones worship. He doesn't like. That's what I'm saying. People get these whacked ideas in their heads. It's like, are you kidding me? And I get the idea. Oh my God. Well, if that person's an athlete, they must work out every day. That's the other one that really bothers me. Like, what? Like, I was a lacrosse player in high school, and I worked out. Like, we worked out. The team worked out, I think, every other day. Or maybe it was 3 days a week. I can't remember. And actually, although our coach was a real nice, one of the nicest human beings on the face of this earth. I'll tell you guys that right now. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. When it came to training, dumber than mega hammers. Because, I will tell you why. We were out one day running, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, it's cold, isn't it? I'm like, well, yeah, we are out in 30 degrees, basically, and like, nothing. And he's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, how? And I asked him, how are you wearing shorts? Because I think he was in shorts and short sleeves. I was in sweats and short sleeves. I'm like, I don't know how you're even in shorts right now, man. Because like, it was like 35 degrees. It was like January, so it was probably about how many years ago? Probably about 5 years ago now. No, 6 years ago now. So it was about 2008. It was just bitter. And ironically, my friend didn't get walking pneumonia or any kind of sickness. I got walking fucking pneumonia. That was fun. That was a joy. And I hardly ever get sick anymore. Like, I used to get sick a lot when I was a kid. I don't get sick anymore. That pissed me off. I almost left the team. I was so mad at the coach. I'm like, we sucked anyway. We sucked. We were horrendous. But yeah, we had one saving grace. There was one player on the team who was just like, he was like a god. He was unbelievable. He was a freak. Wasn't even like an Adonis. Now, for those, that basically means like, that sculpted like body, a really strong chiseled body. No, that's not what this kid was. He was just so like tactful. The kid had the technique of like, I'm just like, this kid should be in the military. The kid was incredible. I'm like, are you a real human being? I couldn't fathom it. I could not, for the life of me. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, the basic gist to all this is, like, all 4 of what I just said are that, stereotypes are not good. and they can really hurt someone. And again, and of course, you can, you can go up and say to someone, "Hey, are you a geek or a nerd?" If you say it to them without the quotes, and even probably with the quotes, they'll walk away from you. Don't ask. That's just stupid. If you know they like something you like, then just get to know them, be friends with them. That's one, obviously. And the same thing goes for someone athletic. Like I said with my friend, like yet this guy also, he would sit on his ass all day and play COD if he could. That's what I'm saying. It's just different. The term is, and I like this. This is a Pokemon phrase from Black and White. Different strokes for different folks. I like that a lot. Alder put it very well. As weak of a champion as he was. Minus the fact he had a, what did he have? Minus the fact he had a Bouffalant and Escavalier, he just was not a good champion. The fact he had Volcarona wasn't even a challenge. If you had a rock type, you smashed it to pieces. And I just thought of something. Ooh, I gotta use that Pokemon then. Ooh, that's a good idea. But yeah. So yeah, it's a really good way to put it. I mean, different strokes, different folks, like I said, yada 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 yada. It's just, it goes without saying. So but yeah. I mean, and you can be so emboldened as to ask someone, if they're gay or not. I would not do at all. I would not do that. No, I'm a bold, frank son of a bitch, and I wouldn't do that. It's rude. It's wrong. It's just, you gotta hope they're comfortable enough with you to tell you if they really want to, or whatever. Like I said, my buddy there, I was surprised. Like at the same time, I told him, I'm like, dude, you were like kind of coming at me a few months back. I'm just like, to actually assume I wouldn't know is really stupid. That's what I wanted to say. I'm not that much of a dick. Couldn't say that. But now I'm that much of a dick, probably. When I was 17, I wasn't. I hadn't realized how cruel the world could be at times. But yeah. And the same goes for people in a band. If you like kind of music they're playing, listen to it and maybe go watch them play. And if you don't, then say screw it. But don't, say like, oh my god, you guys are worse of like Marilyn Manson or something. No. It's very, 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 to the infinite power, unlikely. But yeah, so I was just surprised. And I was happy my bud felt that comfortable with me, though, to say that, Because when you're comfortable with someone, you can basically tell them anything. That's a great thing. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that was just sort of how, stereotypes aren't good. And I hope to God this uploads this time, because if it doesn't, I'm just not even going to bother. Anyway, yeah. Probably make that Pokemon video later next week or something. So, yeah, this is MD865, and, yeah, everyone enjoy this, and, yeah. Like I said, try not to, judge people and generalize them. All right. Like I said, guys, I wouldn't have even made this video if I hadn't dealt with it in my own life and seen it. Like I said, someone said to me, "Oh my God, dude, you're so strong. Like how much you can lift and do you do?" I'm like, I like to lift because it makes me feel good. I like to lift because I like to feel that feeling of strength. I like to lift because I like to get stronger and see gains. I like to lift and I like to run and I like to do any kind of exercise of any type because it makes me feel good. I don't do it because I'm on a team anymore. See, that's what people don't get. People just don't look beneath the surface of stuff. Or they don't want to. Anyway, but yeah, this is MD865, and yeah, that's it. Alright, so bye people.